something is seriously wrong with the world. People aren't just making bad choices, they're making insane ones. They follow politicians who openly lie to them. They fall for scams so obvious a child could spot them. They defend beliefs that are not just wrong, but self-destructive. And the worst part? The more obvious the lie, the more fiercely they fight for it. You've seen it. You've probably tried reasoning with one of them. Maybe you laid out the facts, connected the dots, and thought, there's no way they won't get it now. But instead of thinking, they shut down. Instead of questioning, they double down. And somehow, you become the crazy one. Why? Why do people defend lies that harm them? Why do they attack anyone trying to wake them up? And more importantly, why are these people always the loudest, the most aggressive, the most dangerous? Most people think stupidity is just a lack of intelligence. But that's not it. Stupidity is something far worse. It's a force, a disease. And once it spreads, there's no stopping it. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a man who watched societies collapse under their own ignorance, understood something that most people never will. Stupid people are more dangerous than monsters because a monster knows it's a monster, it plots, it hides, it calculates. But stupid people, they don't know what they're doing. And that's what makes them unstoppable. And today we're going to break it all down. Why stupidity is more destructive than pure evil. Why it spreads like wildfire. And why, if you don't understand how dangerous it really is, you might not survive it. Stupidity isn't just a lack of intelligence. It's something far worse. A person can be uneducated and still be capable of critical thinking. They can lack knowledge but still have the ability to question, analyze, and learn. But stupidity? Stupidity is different. It's not just ignorance, it's a mental trap. A way of seeing the world that blocks out reality and replaces it with blind obedience, emotion, and certainty. It's a condition that spreads, takes over, and turns people into unthinking, reactive followers. But where does it come from? Why are people like this? Why does stupidity seem to be everywhere, growing stronger, infecting more and more people? The answer is simple. Stupidity is not an accident. It doesn't just happen. It is created, it is cultivated, it is built into the very structure of society. And once it takes hold, it becomes almost impossible to reverse. From the moment you're born, you are surrounded by systems designed to make you obedient, not intelligent. Schools don't teach you how to think. They teach you how to memorize. They train you to repeat answers, follow rules, and never challenge authority. A child is naturally curious. They ask why 100 times a day, but by the time they become an adult, that curiosity has been beaten out of them. They've been taught to accept things as they are, to trust the system, to never question what they are told. And those who refuse, they are punished, mocked, or labeled as troublemakers. Even if someone manages to hold on to their ability to think, society does everything in its power to push them back into stupidity. Look at social media. The people who get the most attention aren't the smartest. They're the loudest, the angriest, the most emotional. Critical thinking doesn't get clicks. Nuance doesn't go viral. What spreads is oversimplification, outrage, and tribalism. The algorithm rewards stupidity. It creates an environment where the more thoughtless and extreme you are, the more people listen to you. And the more you conform to what the crowd wants to hear, the more you are rewarded. It doesn't stop there. The entire structure of modern life is designed to make people dumber. Popular entertainment keeps people distracted. Political parties manipulate the masses into thinking in black and white terms. The news media simplifies complex issues into easy, digestible narratives that require no thought. And if you ever step outside of this system, if you ever try to wake people up, you become the enemy. You're labeled a conspiracy theorist, a troublemaker, a threat to the status quo. But this is the most terrifying part. People don't just become stupid. They like it. Thinking is hard. Questioning your own beliefs is uncomfortable. Challenging what you've always assumed to be true, that's painful. But stupidity? Stupidity is easy. It feels good to be part of a group that agrees with you. It feels safe to follow the herd, to believe what everyone else believes, to never have to think for yourself. That's why stupid people are so confident. They don't have doubts. They don't feel anxiety about being wrong because they never even consider the possibility. They operate with total certainty, convinced they are right, unwilling and unable to change their minds. And that's what makes them so dangerous. You can reason with an intelligent person. You can negotiate with a rational person. But a stupid person, there's nothing you can do. Logic won't work. Evidence won't help. The more you argue, the more resistant they become. Stupidity isn't just an individual flaw, it's a system, a culture, a way of life that protects itself. Once someone falls into it, they don't want to leave. They're locked in. And because they are the majority, they dictate how society functions. They decide what is true and what isn't. They determine who succeeds and who fails. Intelligence becomes a threat. Questioning becomes dangerous. The world isn't run by the smartest people, it's run by the stupidest, and they don't even know it. When people think about danger, they think about villains, criminal masterminds, ruthless dictators, psychopaths who manipulate, deceive, and destroy without remorse. We've been taught that evil is the greatest threat, that if we could just get rid of the bad people, the corrupt politicians, the greedy elites, the sociopaths in positions of power, the world would be a better place. But that's a lie, because the truth is far more terrifying. The worst crimes in history weren't just caused by evil people scheming in the shadows. They were carried out by millions of stupid people who thought they were doing the right thing. The worst leaders didn't rise to power through sheer brilliance or manipulation alone. They were lifted up by crowds of idiots who followed without question. The worst systems of oppression, the greatest injustices, the biggest catastrophes, they all had one thing in common. They relied on the stupidity of the masses to survive. This is why stupidity is more dangerous than pure malice. Evil has limits. A truly evil person knows when to hide, when to stop, when to pull back. A criminal knows that if they push too far, they'll face consequences. Even the most ruthless dictator, the most cold-blooded psychopath, has to be careful. They calculate, they plan, they manipulate. They know they are doing something wrong, even if they don't care, but stupid people, they don't stop, they don't think, they don't realize they're being used as weapons. A monster knows it's a monster. A stupid person thinks they're a hero. And that makes them far, far more dangerous. Think about it. A psychopath might manipulate people, but who carries out their orders? Who enforces their rules? Who spreads their lies, defends their actions, and silences those who resist? It's not just one mastermind pulling the strings, it's an entire army of people too stupid to see they're being used. You see it every day, people passionately defending leaders who exploit them, people attacking others for questioning obvious lies, people blindly enforcing rules that make no sense because they have been told it's the right thing to do. And the worst part, they think they're the good guys. A stupid person doesn't just follow orders. They don't just obey, they believe. They believe so deeply that they will fight for their own oppression. They will turn against their own interests. They will destroy everything around them and never realize they were the problem all along. That's why stupidity is worse than evil. Because evil is predictable, it plays by certain rules. But stupidity is chaotic, it spreads, it infects. It cannot be reasoned with, bargained with, or stopped. A psychopath can be locked away, a criminal can be arrested, a dictator can be overthrown. But stupidity, it's everywhere, it's self-sustaining, it never questions itself. And that's why, when history looks back at the greatest tragedies, it won't just see the masterminds behind them. It will see the millions of fools who made them possible. Stupid people don't just exist, they are used. Throughout history, those in power have always relied on the blind obedience of fools to enforce their will. Stupidity isn't just a flaw, it's a weapon. Think about it. No corrupt leader can rule alone. No oppressive system survives without enforcers. And who are those enforcers? Not the masterminds, not the thinkers, but the ones who follow orders without question. Stupid people don't ask why, they don't think for themselves, they don't hesitate. That makes them the perfect tools for manipulation. Tell them who the enemy is, give them a simple slogan to repeat, and they'll do the rest. They will attack, defend, and destroy, without ever realizing they're being used. History proves it. The worst atrocities weren't carried out by the masterminds who planned them, but by the armies of fools who executed them. And the scariest part? Those fools always believe they are on the right side. That's why stupidity is so dangerous. It's not just an individual weakness, it's the foundation of every system that seeks to control. And as long as there are stupid people, there will always be those who use them as weapons. Stupidity isn't just a problem, it's the dominant force in the world. It shapes politics, destroys economies, and turns intelligent people into outcasts. It cannot be stopped and it cannot be reasoned with. So the real question isn't how to fix it. The real question is, how do you survive it? Most people make the same mistake. They think they can fight stupidity with logic. They believe that if they just present the right facts, explain things clearly, or expose the lies, stupid people will wake up. But that never happens because stupid people don't just ignore the truth, they fight against it. Arguing with a stupid person is like punching a brick wall and expecting it to break. You're the one who ends up hurt, so if fighting them doesn't work, what's the solution? How do you live in a world where stupidity always wins? First, stop trying to wake them up. It's a waste of time. The more you push, the more resistant they become. Stupidity is a belief system, a cult. And just like any cult, the harder you attack it, the stronger it gets. Second, be invisible to stupidity. The biggest mistake intelligent people make is thinking they have to fix the world. They see stupidity spreading, and they feel the need to step in and stop it. But that's how you get destroyed. The key to surviving a world ruled by idiots isn't fighting them. It's avoiding their attention altogether. If stupidity is a wildfire, don't try to put it out. Just make sure it doesn't burn you. Third, learn how powerful people use stupidity and do the same. Stupid people are predictable. They move in herds. They react emotionally. They are easy to manipulate. And the people in charge know this. That's why they never try to educate the masses. They just control them. You don't have to be evil to understand how this works. You just have to be smart enough to play the game. If you waste your time trying to teach fools, you'll accomplish nothing. But if you know how to steer them, you can avoid their destruction and even turn their stupidity into an advantage. The world has always been ruled by stupidity. That won't change, but you can decide whether you'll be crushed by it or learn how to navigate through it without being destroyed. Stupidity has always ruled the world. It has shaped history, fueled destruction, and given power to the worst kinds of people. And the hardest truth to accept, it will never go away. People don't want to think. They don't want to question. They want certainty, comfort, and a group to belong to. That's why stupidity spreads so easily and why it can never be defeated. You can't fix stupidity. You can only survive it. Most people waste their lives trying to fight it. They argue, they debate, they try to wake people up. But in the end, they only burn themselves out. The world is not designed for the smartest people. It's designed for the masses. So what do? You stop wasting energy on people who will never change. You stop trying to fix what can't be fixed. You learn how to move through the world without being dragged down by the stupidity around you. Because in the end, stupidity only wins when intelligent people spend their time fighting it instead of outsmarting it